Cannibalism is a practice that we've long since outlawed, and for good reason. It's inhumane, cruel, and barbaric. There's no place for such things in civilized society. However, that doesn't mean that cannibalism doesn't exist anywhere in the world today. That might surprise you, but it's true. In fact, there are actually quite a few places on Earth where people openly practice cannibalism. Papua New Guinea, Nahi Caves, Ganges River, and Cambodia are just a few places where there exists no stigma around cannibalism. Sometimes, the reason behind this devouring of humans is a religious ritual. However, it's often the case that extreme conditions end up forcing ordinary men to resort to cannibalism. That's just how the world is. Here are 6 places around the world where cannibalism is still practiced. You definitely don't want to find yourself in these areas, because if you ever do, you might just end up in someone's stomach. Beware, dear viewer, because we're about to enter some of the most dangerous regions on the planet. This video is not for the faint of heart. The Korowai are a known cannibal tribe that reside along the side of the Ndiaram-Cabra River in western New Guinea. The people of this tribe are famous for their bizarre and inhuman rituals. They tend to live in trees of incredible height, sometimes as long as 140 feet. It's the custom in this tribe to eat human beings for one's sustenance. Cannibalism tops the list of the barbaric practices of the Korowai, but the act is actually rooted in the tribe's spiritual beliefs. The Korowai strongly believe in the existence of the devil, whom they call Kakwa. According to their belief system, any mysterious death in their area is caused by an aggressive demon who took the form of a human and searched for victims to attack and kill. The Korowai believe it to be their duty to devour the dead man's corpse, in order to avenge the Kakwa. That's the story behind this savage tribe's transformation into a man-eating cult. Tribes don't get much gorier than this. It's a widespread belief that furious cannibals inhabit the dark depths of the Nahi Caves in Sigatoka, Fiji, and there are actual reports of cannibalistic incidents having taken place on the island. Sigatoka has been so terrorized by the presence of the cannibal tribe that it has become known around the world as the Cannibal Island. In fact, Fiji has a long and ongoing history with cannibalism. No one knows if they'll ever see the end of it. Unlike the Korowai, the residents of the Nahi Caves don't need a religious reason to feed on human meat. This cave tribe relishes the opportunity to hunt down humans. It's in their customs to make meat lollipops out of their human victims, and they enjoy these gory treats during their festivities. Those festivities also include dancing to songs of tradition and drinking exotic drinks while devouring the flesh of their fellow humans. Mostly, these festivities are conducted during the installation of a new chief of the tribe or the return of warriors from battle. That's why it's important to choose the right time of year to visit the cannibal island of Fiji. You definitely don't want to intrude upon any important events on the island, because doing so could cost you your life. The practice of cannibalism is almost dead in India. However, you might be surprised to learn that a specific sector of monks still believes certain cannibalistic rituals to be important, and they conduct them to this day. This infamous group of cannibal monks calls itself the Aghori. They even preach their belief that performing these barbaric rituals helps them gain spiritual consciousness. The Aghori eat and drink in human skulls, and they also use burnt human skin as cloth to clothe and cover themselves. It might sound creepy to you, but Indians have long since made their peace with the rituals of the Aghori. As it turns out, the Aghori don't hunt human beings for food, which is why their practices are still somewhat accepted. Rather, they use the bodies of already dead humans to meet their bizarre spiritual requirements and obligations. Regular Indians are scared of the Aghori, since they are believed to be the gurus of witchcraft. That's just one more reason to avoid the members of this cult. A series of human rights movements has attempted to suppress cannibalism in the Democratic Republic of Congo for ages, and many thought them successful. However, a few years back, a spokesperson for a minority Congo group rose in a United Nations meeting, where he cried for help from the authorities. According to him, members of his minority community were vanishing without a trace. The man's name was Sinafasi Maklo. In the 2000s, reports suggest that a group of Congolese rebels began to hunt down the people of Mbuti Pygmies, a minority group in the Congo. Maklo, a delegate sent by Mbuti Pygmies, attended a UN meeting in 2003 and highlighted the genocide suffered by the Pygmies community, which included sexual assault, abuse, and severe poverty. It was later deduced that the armed group even became cannibals in their persecution of the Mbuti Pygmies. They believed that consuming the human flesh of the Bambuti tribe would give them magical powers. Maklo confirmed for the UN that the armed group members were feasting on sexual organs, mainly to unlock mystical powers. The people of this poor minority community just had to pay the price for rebel savagery. The rule of the Khmer Rouge in Cambodia is marked as one of the deadliest periods in the history of the world. The atrocities committed by the armed forces were beyond inhumane, since they not only killed and mutilated locals but sometimes devoured them afterwards. The prosecution for the extended case of Khmer Rouge started in 2003, during which it was revealed that the soldiers of the regime tortured prisoners by disemboweling or amputating them. The soldiers of the Khmer Rouge would even go so far as to consume their prisoners' flesh. They did this to inflict terror upon other inmates, who were horrified by the depravity of their captors. In 2011, reports came out that a German tourist was killed, mutilated, and later feasted on by a Polynesian local. Stefan Ramin, a 40-year-old German tourist, was on vacation in the small island of Nukuhiva in French Polynesia with his girlfriend. The two wanted to have some adventures on their trip, but Ramin would never have bargained that he'd become front-page news by the end of their stay. Ramin and his girlfriend were hunting goats in Nukuhiva when they were attacked by their tour guide. Ramin was killed, and his remains were later discovered near a campfire. It is believed that Ramin's tour guide killed him and then hacked him into pieces. Later, the tour guide burned the remains of Ramin's body to ashes. Nukuhiva gained notoriety after the cannibal attack on this tourist, and visitors to the region are wary of attack to this day. That's all we've got for you today. Let us know which modern cannibal tribe struck you as particularly gruesome. The world is a dark and dangerous place, so we urge you to be safe out there.